Hello again, Lockpicking Paul here, and tonight I'm going to talk to you about raking locks open. And these, if you've never done it before, where's the camera, are all pin tumbler rakes. And the idea of these is you move them in and out of a lock vigorously to bounce the pins up and down whilst you're under tension. The pins will randomly catch against the shear line, and eventually the lock will open. It can be an extremely quick technique for getting a lock with relatively shallow bitting on the key. This is a key to a pin tumbler which I can rake very quickly, and you'll notice there's not a lot of variation in those pin heights. And you can rake some really quite high security locks if the key doesn't have enough variability into it. But what is less commonly known is you can actually rake mortise locks. This here is a 3-lever uncurtained mortise lock, so it doesn't have the disc bit in the middle here that rotates. This is one of the ones that you've got free access to the bottom of the levers, and I've managed to rake open with a single tool. So the tool itself does the tension and lifts the levers. And I've managed to do it for everything up to a 5-lever mortise lock. It doesn't work on all of the locks because, again, if there's quite a lot of variability in where the slots are in the levers, you won't necessarily get them all aligned. But it works on a surprising number of locks. It's quite shocking. So we're going to have a little go at that. But I'm going to show you the tool first of all. Or the tools rather, because not all rakes fit all locks, and sometimes you might have to make something custom to do a job. I use either coat hanger wire, which is about 2 millimeters in diameter, or 1.6 millimeter stainless spring wire, and that's what they look like. It doesn't look like much, does it? I mean, some of these are to pick sash locks or rim locks, but this is one which I made to pick this particular lock here, and that's all it is. It's just like a bent L. And what we'll do is, after we've picked it, I'll whip the lid off this and show you how it works. This goes into the lock like so and makes contact, that flat bit makes contact with the bottom of the levers, and the pointy bit hits the bottom of the bolt. And if you move this, if you apply a little bit of right hand tension to it and move it up and down and rock it, because you want to get those levers moving at different rates, it will eventually align, catch, and you'll be able to throw the bolt surprisingly easy and quickly. So let's give that a go, shall we? So we'll pop this in. And let's see how fast or not we can open it. Soswell says, of course, now I'm doing this on camera, it won't happen quickly at all. Because that's the way these things go. Yeah, of course not. Normally I can do this in just a couple of seconds, but tonight not so much. It is a random attack, of course, and that's the thing. If you can rake a lock open, you'll do it once in a few seconds, and then maybe it'll take you a little longer the next time. Oh, did you see that? The bolt moved ever so gently, and that means I'm probably close. There you go. Longer than I would have liked. Normally you can do it quicker. What we can do with this tool, is we can lock it back up again. So it's exactly reverse. Lift up and apply tension, but this time turning to the left. Yeah, there you go. That's the bolt thrown again. So quite straightforward. Right, let's get this out. I'll show you how this works. hopefully I'll manage to hold the levers and they won't go flying all over the desk, because they're sort of loosely held in on a pivot point and some springs. Most of these locks will come apart with 1 or 2 screws. So that's what's inside one of these locks. And if I just lift this up a second, lift these levers up, the bit that's underneath, this big hunk of metal, is the bolt. And that's what, when you put this in, because it's through this hole, remember, so we're up here, that pointy bit is touching the bottom of that bolt, and you're applying right hand tension to it. So the bolt is always under tension against the levers. So as you pull in like this and lift up the levers, eventually they'll align, and you'll pull. Do you see the bolt moving there? That's all I did. I just pushed the levers up and just pulling around with this, with the pick. It's pulling the bolt through the lever pack. That's what it does. It just randomly picks these levers up. Now these levers are not massively varied in here. There's not a really shallow cut and a really deep cut next to each other. There is some variation, but not hugely, which makes it very easy to rake open. And I've tried about 10 of these uncurtained locks, and I think I can rake 7 of them. And there's 1 5 lever in there, but that does take exponentially more time because you've got to do a lot more to align 5 levers than you do 3 or 2 or 1. In fact, I've got a rim lock, which if I can get a spare rim lock, I'll show you. They're called 2 lever locks, but actually there's 1 lever at the top, 1 lever at the bottom, and you only have to pick one of them. You just push down with that tool and pull it to one side, and the lock will fly open. And that, up until I think the 60s or the 70s, was a very common main house lock in the UK. But anyway, that's literally all there is to it. Nice quick video. How to rake a lever mortise lock with 1 tool. Have fun. Don't steal all the hangers in your house. Good luck with your picking.